Hey everyone, this is a rant. This is not as thoughtful and straightforward and well thought out as my videos usually are. This is just a rant. So if you want a logical and thoughtful explanation of my criticisms of Ripple and their token XRP, which is the Ripple token, if you want a thoughtful explanation and questioning, watch my first video about it, which if I remember, I'll paste in the comments. Otherwise, this is a rant. Okay, so anytime the price of Bitcoin goes up, so again, apologies in advance for a rant. Rants are not supposed to be as coherent as my other videos. All right. So when the price of Bitcoin starts to rise, just like when a rising tide lifts all boats, it also lifts all trash. If you notice, when the tide comes in, the trash is the first thing to move. All the styrofoam cups, all of the things with no substance that float easily, they all rise. So when Bitcoin starts to rise, eventually trash tokens like XRP start to rise, which means inevitably as the price of Bitcoin goes up, somebody, and recently it's been a few times a week, somebody will comment on one of my Facebook posts about, hey Joel, have you heard of XRP and the Ripple ecosystem? This could be the next big thing. And inevitably, well, first of all, I roll my eyes because my gosh, I just think Ripple's the biggest scam / rug pull. That rug pull is when you get everybody to stand on a rug and then you pull the rug and, the person who pulls the rug has lots of fun or gets lots of rich and everybody else ends up, on the ground. So I think Ripple / XRP is the biggest scam / rug pull, out there probably right now. But anyway, and literally nobody I have ever met can clearly articulate the value of this thing. So here's how it typically goes. Hey Joel, have you heard about XRP? It's the next big thing. I'm like, oh, why don't you invest in Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's really expensive, and I figured I needed to find my own token that I heard about before my friends, and so I found XRP, and it might be the next big thing. Well, first of all, don't ever invest in something because you feel like you missed out on something real, because that's how people get scammed. They're like, well, I invested in something that was not real because it was cheaper. It was like, well, don't invest in things that are cheaper if they're not real. But anyway, this is how it goes. So people are like, yeah, but Bitcoin was so expensive, so I bought a bunch of XRP. Okay, well, if we're in the market for cheap, stupid stuff, there's a lot of stuff that's even stupider and cheaper. So why XRP? But anyway, so I'm like, okay, is it a meme coin? They're like, no, it's not a meme coin. I was like, well, is it money? Well, no, it's not money. So it's a utility. Yes, it's a utility. Okay, I'm like, okay, well, what's the utility? Well, they're partnering with the banks. Well, what are they partnering with the banks to do? Well, the person's not really sure. They don't know why they're really partnering with the banks, but they feel good about the fact that they are partnered with banks. Okay, if you don't understand what's going on there, FTX was partnered with a bunch of banks. How'd that go? FTX went to zero. We went bankrupt. They had a bunch of super credible people on their board. They had a bunch of gold-plated investors. All of the biggest investment firms in Silicon Valley were invested in FTX. They had gold-plated, ultra-high-profile endorsements. They had an amazing board of directors, strategic advisors. They had everything that would lead you to believe that FTX was real. And it went bankrupt, and Sam Bankman-Fried's in prison for 25 years. So, don't ever bet on something if you don't understand how it works or what it is, just because there's some people endorsing it or some people affiliated with it. Okay, so then I'm like, okay, so what's the utility? They're like, well, with XRP, it's partnered with the banks. Of course, they don't know why it's partnered with the banks or what value might be created there. They just feel good about the fact that maybe they're on the right track because they heard about a bank partnership, but they're not sure how it works. Okay, again, I'm like, seriously, you have real money in this and you don't even understand it, but okay, whatever, let's keep going. All right, so what does it do? They're like, well, it's like cross-border payments and like the banks are going to use it. I'm like, well, first of all, I've never talked to anybody who had any idea how cross-border payments actually worked or how interbank settlement actually works, who knew anything about it. So the people who are positive that XRP is somehow going to help with this process have no idea how any of this works. Which again, just tells me like, seriously, you have real money invested in something and you don't know how it works. And the best you can come up with is that there's people on the board and there's strategic advisors and, and there's something about cross-border payments and interbank settlement. That's like a buzzword salad. Come on, like come up with some real value. Okay. So then the conversation keeps going. And I'm like, okay, but here's the problem with utility token. if the utility token gets widely used, it goes up in value, and as it goes up in value, people switch to cheaper networks, right? It's the reason that people started on Ethereum and then switched to Solana. And it's the same reason that when Solana becomes too expensive to transact on, they'll switch to Algorand or they'll switch to something else because they don't care. They're going to transact on the cheapest network of transactions. So I'm like, well, okay, if XRP costs whatever, $2 and however many cents, whatever it is, I was like, if it costs XRP to transact on that network, then you know, then as the price goes up, if you're betting on the price going up, then that means the transactions are going to get more expensive, which means eventually people are going to switch to a different network. And they're like, no, but that's the great thing about it. You actually don't need to use the XRP token to transact on the XRP network. I'm like, okay, now we got a real head scratcher. Like literally, I'm having this conversation with an actual real person. I'm like, wait, so you're positive the XRP token's going to increase in value because banks are going to use it. But the great thing about it is you don't actually have to use it in order to use it. I'm like, what? So they're like, yeah, you can use the Ripple network without using the XRP token. I'm like, but then wait, why are you invested in the XRP token if you can use the Ripple network without the XRP token? They're like, well, because everybody's going to use the Ripple network and the XRP token and the price is going to go up. I'm like, but you just told me that you don't even need to use the XRP token in order to use the network. So how's that work? Well, they have no idea. I mean, it's absolutely insane the degree to which the people who have money in XRP have no idea what it is, no idea how it works, no idea what the utility is, no idea why everyone won't switch to a cheaper network if XRP actually starts being successful, no idea why you even need the XRP token if you don't need the XRP token to use the network. Why is there an XRP token if you don't need it to use the network? Like, okay, like none of this makes any sense. And then I'm like, well, the problem is Ripple Labs controls like 42% of all the Ripple tokens. And there's like 100 billion Ripple tokens, and they plan to dump something like 42 billion Ripple tokens on the market in the next 3 years. And their response is, well, first of all, most people who buy Ripple have no idea. They're like, what? I'm like, seriously, you have not even freaking Googled it? You bought Ripple XRP and you didn't even Google it to figure it out how it works. Like, look, if my kids bought anything, my kids all know, do not do anything without asking Google, asking YouTube, and asking ChatGPT. If you have not asked Google, YouTube, and ChatGPT, then you're doing something stupid, because there is nothing in the world worth knowing and nothing that you can't understand by asking Google, YouTube, and ChatGPT. But again, inevitably, the people I'm talking to have not done any of that. They invested in XRP because there were some people on the board and it seemed like it was a token that they got to before other people did. And it has something to do with international payments and bank settlements. And they heard about some partnerships, but can't actually point me to any. So every time this pops up, every few months, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to the bottom of this scam. So I spent a couple hours online Googling all the things these people should Google. And of course, there's not any answers. I'm like, where? Where are the banks that are actually using XRP? Like, show me somebody that is actually using XRP today. Well, I can't find anything. I can't find anybody who's actually using it. Now, if you wonder, why would banks announce a partnership for a technology they're not using? The answer is they do it all the time. Large companies are constantly announcing, even small companies in general are constantly announcing partnerships with technology they haven't figured out yet. Because every big bank wants to look like they're not behind on crypto. So along comes XRP and says, hey, big wigs at the bank, you announce a partnership with us, and then your techie people will get with our techie people, and we'll figure it out. And the bigwigs are like, great, this gives us an opportunity to look like we're ahead of the curve on crypto. We don't really understand how this XRP thing works, but we don't need to. We get all of the benefit of announcing a partnership without any of the downside of actually doing anything. So companies are constantly announcing partnerships with each other when there's nothing there. Like, there's literally nothing there. They announce a partnership because they can. So anyway, so same here. There's been a bunch of partnerships announced, but I can't ever find anything online that there's any substance to any of these partnerships. Also, nobody can answer me for, settling international trade. Why would you not use that US dollars the way people already do now? And if that's too slow, why would you not use Tether, USDT, or USDC, which is the US dollar stablecoin? So you have two stable coins that are pegged to the US dollar that you could use for international settlements. So why wouldn't you just use those? Well, of course, these XRP people have no idea why you just wouldn't use Tether or USDC to settle international transfers. Like, nobody knows anything about this. And then you go back to the founding and it's like, okay, the founding of XRP was some rather sketchy, people. One of them was the founder of Mt. Gox, which was the biggest crypto exchange that blew up and everybody lost all their money. It was basically the FTX of 2014, except the percent of total Bitcoin lost was much, much, much larger than FTX. So one of them was that guy. Now he had sold FTX before it blew up, but he was the one who built it. So like he built it, he sold it, it blew up, and he started XRP. So that's one of the founders, and either the same founder, I think a different founder, sold all of their XRP tokens. Okay, so it's like, wait, you're telling me this is so great that one of the founders believed in it so much that he dumped all of his tokens? Seriously? Like, who's buying this stuff? I just have no idea. So anyway, none of it makes any sense. Nobody can explain to me why the price is not going to tank when they do dump 42 billion additional Ripple tokens. Nobody can explain to me what the utility is, how the utility is not, how it's sustainable, who's really behind this, and what legit actual people are involved. I mean, the whole thing is so unbelievably fuzzy and amorphous that, unlike Bitcoin, with Bitcoin, the deeper you dig, the more real it becomes. If you meet with any Bitcoiner, they want to go down the rabbit hole with you. Every Bitcoiner wants to help you understand how it works, why it's valuable. Look, you can find almost any Bitcoiner that will spend all day explaining the halving. They'll explain the difficulty adjustment. They'll explain, the finer nuances of how, the Bitcoin mining works. Like, Bitcoiners love Bitcoin because it's real. And the more you talk to them, the more you find out they love this thing because everything about it is real. Everything about it is amazing, and they want to tell you about it. Every single person I've talked to about Ripple, it immediately falls apart. Like 10 seconds into the conversation, the whole thing falls apart. They do not know why they invested. They're not sure what they own. They don't know how it works. Every answer is a handful of buzzwords. And the answer of why won't they dump 42 billion tokens, I'll do that. It's like, seriously, we moved from a Federal Reserve who we were worried about printing money to a just trust me, bro. So like the XRP model is, motto seems to be just trust me, bro. Well, the last time we heard a just trust me, bro was FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried was like, hey, we have all the Bitcoin, just trust me, bro. Well, they didn't. They had rehypothecated and all that sort of stuff. So this whole XRP thing is absolutely insane. I mean, I can't look. So anyway, I can't believe people are constantly telling me about XRP and they have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, it boggles my mind that people would invest real money in something that they understand so little and that it completely falls apart the moment they get into it. So there's a couple people, I was about to wrap up this video, but there's a couple people on here I can see are watching that I'm going to invite one or two of them into the video. And if you want to join and weigh in, let me know. There's just one person. I'm going to invite them and see if they want. I don't know how this invite I've never done it before, but we'll see. If they join the video, then I guess we're going to have two of us on the video and we'll figure out how that works. Anyway, so all that to say, this is a rant. I think XRP/Ripple is a scam. I think the economics are insane. I think the incentives are bizarre. I think the people who have invested in it don't seem to have any idea what they hold. And the people who do know what they hold, like one of the founders, dumped all of it, which tells you everything you should need to know about it, which is it was exactly valuable enough to just dump. So anyway, I just don't understand this thing. But I've tried. I've spent multiple hours, multiple times trying to figure out what do these people see that I don't see. And the conclusion I keep coming to is nothing. They have been duped by the XRP, scam machine. But anyway, that's my conclusion. But I try to be a very open-minded person. In the 8 years I spent in the House of Representatives in Mississippi, I was typically the very first person to adopt new ideas or out of the box thinking and all of that. So I will try to embrace anything. So if you know something that I don't know about Ripple slash XRP, Ripple is the company behind it, Ripple Labs, and the token is XRP. If you know something I don't know, please email it to me. You can email me at joel@joelbaumgar.com. That's JOEL at JOELBOMGAR.com. That's my email address, joel@joelbaumgar.com. So just email me. I will literally read anything you send me. Now, don't send me a 95 page white paper that you have not read yourself. So if you send me something that you yourself have actually read, not something you Googled and downloaded that's 95 pages long and you don't even understand it yourself. But if you have any material that you think explains anything of what I'm talking about, please send it my way. I promise I will read or I will watch or I will listen to anything you send me about XRP and try to figure out if I'm missing something. But I don't think I am. I think the whole thing's a scam and I think it's going to zero. That is exactly what I think is going to happen. So anyway, let me see if there's anybody else on here that I might be able to invite. It looks like probably not. So anyway, let me know if you need anything, everyone. Have a great day. Always a pleasure to serve you in any way I can. Thanks.